Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today, I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the sport of football inside the college football world. Today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy award this year. So last week, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback for Indiana, won the Heisman Trophy award this year, and the finalists that were part of the award, shout out to quarterback from Ohio State Julian Sain, quarterback from Vanderbilt Diego Pavia, and running back from Notre Dame Jeremiah Love for being a part of the Heisman Trophy race this year. But there's going to be one winner, and his name is Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana. So my thoughts on Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy award. I think Fernando Mendoza deserved to be the Heisman Trophy Award winner this year. He did help Indiana go undefeated, and they did defeat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game to earn the #1 seed in the college football playoffs this year. Now, I do believe that Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback heading into the 2026 NFL draft class. But his Heisman Trophy Award year really wasn't anything to rave about or something that will be memorable amongst the other Heisman Trophy Award winners, in my opinion. He had under 3,000 passing yards, and it honestly felt like the race towards the Heisman Award this year really wasn't anything to rave about or will be remembered years from now in college football. That's no disrespect to Julian Sain, quarterback from Ohio State, no disrespect to Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, or running back from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. It just felt like the race this year wasn't really special, and it felt like Fernando Mendoza didn't have a marquee Heisman Trophy year like the other previous winners had. You look at Travis Hunter when he was a two-way player, a wide receiver and corner for Colorado last year when he won the award. You look at Jaden Daniels back in 2023 at LSU when he won the award. You could even go back to 2020 and undersized wide receiver Devontae Smith won the award. So I felt like Fernando Mendoza's Heisman Trophy run wasn't special. And honestly, if you compare Fernando Mendoza's Heisman stats to other quarterbacks in the past, it's pretty crazy here. Back in 2020, my guy Kyle Trask, when he was starting for the Florida Gators at the quarterback position, Kyle Trask had more passing yards than Fernando Mendoza, who just won the Heisman Trophy Award this year, because Kyle Trask had 4,000 passing yards. Kyle Trask also had more passing touchdowns than Fernando Mendoza did this year, being the Heisman Trophy Award winner. Kyle Trask back in 2020 had 43 passing touchdowns, and Kyle Trask back in 2020 defeated more ranked opponents at Florida than Fernando Mendoza this year. Kyle Trask defeated 4 ranked opponents back in 2020. Fernando Mendoza only defeated 2 ranked opponents this year. So I don't feel like the standards dropped for the Heisman Trophy Award this year. I just felt like the race wasn't as special, or there wasn't any true significance to the race, because honestly, if you think about it, guys, we could have had a different conversation if it was Ohio State that defeated Indiana in the Big Ten championship, and Julian Sain went undefeated and helped Ohio State gain the #1 seed and his first year starting with Ohio State. Because I think Fernando Mendoza had 33 passing touchdowns and Julian Sain had 31 passing touchdowns. It could have been a similar situation if Julian Sain and Ohio State defeated Indiana, and I could possibly talk about Julian Sain winning the award this year. I just felt like the award didn't have any type of controversy behind it. Like last year, you could have had a debatable conversation that it could have been Ashton Jeanty, who had 2,000 rushing yards with Boise State and carried that team on his back, that should have won the Heisman Trophy Award over Travis Hunter last year. There was no debate, and honestly, the only debate that you could have is you could flip the winners. If it was Julian Sain that went undefeated this year, and Fernando Mendoza and Indiana lost the game and they were the second or third seed in the college football playoff bracket. No disrespect, I don't think the standards have dropped by any means, but I hope next year's winner, if it's a quarterback that wins the award, just doesn't have a similar year to what Fernando Mendoza had. Again, under 3,000 passing yards, only defeating 2 ranked opponents, that being Oregon and Ohio State, that Fernando Mendoza defeated this year. I don't know. We'll see what happens next year, but I think this 2025 Heisman Trophy run that Fernando Mendoza had unless Indiana wins it all, it's going to be forgotten within the next 3 to 5 years. It won't be a standout year that Fernando Mendoza had as a Heisman Trophy Award winner. But I still think he is one of the best prospects for the 2026 NFL draft class. I don't know. But those are my thoughts on the Heisman Trophy Award race this year. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.